We're here with the lovely Hannah G. You got my first impression rose as well.
So sweet.
How would you describe this journey overall for you?
It didn't go the way that I wanted it to, but I learned so much. So overall, I would do it 8 million times again, because when do you get the chance to make yourself a priority and, you know, love a priority? Like, I never had time for that, but this allowed me to kind of get the chance to do that.
What about last night? So we see you getting your heart broken, then you have to sit there. First thing going through your mind when Colton walked out?
Oh, crap. I mean, it's kind of like a nightmare. I was looking forward to the closure from it, but I mean, like, imagine a really, really hard memory and having to watch it and that be, you know, your reality. It was hard and it wasn't fun, but I can say that I'm glad I did it and I feel like empowered, and I'm glad I got some of those what ifs cleared up a little bit.
You said the sweetest thing. You said when you went home after the show, you were checking with producers thinking Colton was going to come get you in your hometown. Like, that's how your love felt with him.
I feel like in the moment, I was so in denial. Like, whenever he closed the door, you know, it kind of just struck where I was like, whoa, that's it. Like, I was like, surely he'll come back in. Or, you know, then the following week and stuff, and I was like, you know, there's just no way that it ended like that. And it was just in a snap. And it did. And it was heartbreaking. It wasn't fun.
Well, this was not in your head. As a viewer watching with my daughters, we all thought you were the one. So at home, when you went back, you said everybody was walking up to you like, let me see the ring, and when's the wedding?
Yeah, and I know it's part of it. And so obviously I'm not gonna be like, you know, and walk away. So I was trying to be excited about it because I know people are excited about it and the whole, you know, entire experience itself. But, you know, it was painful to be like, ooh, you'll have to see, you know, wait till next week. And then after, I just remember like getting my car once and I was like, okay, cue the John Mayer music and I'm gonna cry really quick because this sucks, you know. But it did show me how strong I can be, and it tested my limits a lot watching it every week. But I definitely kind of found something in me. I think it's my new trick to be like, I can handle things and I can speak my mind.
John Mayer will get you through anything.
He so will. He will, and he does. Yeah.
What about inside the house? Did you ever see this connection with Cassie? That he's willing to give everything up for this?
No. But I didn't focus on other relationships. If I focused on other relationships the whole time, then mine would have, you know, I wouldn't have been able to enjoy the moments that I had with him. So I don't know. For me, I think I kind of tried to like compartmentalize everything and focus on my path and not anybody else's path.
So when he told you it was Cassie, were you surprised?
Yes, but really just because I thought it was me the whole time. And I never had a reason to think otherwise. It was just like, I mean, he would look me in the eye and he'd be like, hey, just trust me. And I was just like, okay, awesome. And I held on to that so much because it was real feelings. It wasn't just like, okay, trusting you, like going through, you know, this whole crazy thing with cameras and stuff, but it was like real life for me. And I was like, this is
like
us.
Home.
Yeah, it was rough.
What about now within the house? Have you talked to the other girls now, watching it back and seeing that he left it all for Cassie? What's the chatter?
I mean, I think he's just following his gut. And I think for all of us watching back, it's given us more answers. And I guess I didn't know how much he felt with Cassie and stuff. But I'm not going to lie, watching it back, I was still like, okay, the connection that I thought was there is actually there. And that was not helpful for finding closure at all.
I like what you said, too. You said what Cassie did to you is how you're making me feel. I think a lot of people didn't realize how deep you felt for him, how this was, yes, it's a TV show, as you said, but you really fell in love.
Yeah. And I hope that, you know, didn't totally rub him the wrong way or anything, because I was like, oh, that might be like a touchy subject. But realistically speaking, you know, I was waiting in my hotel room. He robbed me. He didn't even want to spend that time with me, which is what I saw what she did. But when he left me, I was just like left by myself. I didn't jump a fence about it. I just, but it is hard because I think I was trying to put things into perspective when I said that last night, where he was like explaining himself, and I was like, well, hey, I went through the same thing. I get it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, love isn't always, all highs. It's highs and lows. And
I love that you put it out there, because I don't think he realized how much he'd hurt you.
Yeah.
I also love, we were debating this today, if you'd gone on the fantasy suite date with him, if you'd allowed that, if you'd been first besides Tayshia, things could have gone differently, perhaps. You can't play the what if game.
Totally.
But hello, what if?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's a big what if. And it's like, if I literally flew to Portugal. I was like jet lagged and had just gotten in, and I was like, okay, my date's tomorrow. Like, yes, so excited to see him. And it's like, what changed from, the last time I saw him, which was him saying, I'm falling in love with you, and then I get the first rose after hometowns. Everything was checked off my list. And I even saw him for a second, like briefly after hometowns, and he was like, I can't wait to see you soon. Like, weird, like it was hinting like, hey, by the way.
First
and so
impression, rose, and he asked your dad for your hand in marriage. I mean, all the signs were leading exactly where you were.
Yeah.
Do you think Cassie is going to take him back? Or take him, not even back? You think Cassie is going to accept his love?
I don't know. I mean, as much as he has to follow his heart and his gut, Cassie has to do the same. And I don't think Cassie should just accept something if she knows it's not there. So I do respect Cassie for doing whatever, she felt she needed to do in the moment. So much respect for that. And same with Colton, feeling like he needed to do, to follow his heart. But does it suck for me? Like, hey, I'm over here. Like, I would have not had those feelings, and it was just different. That was hard for me to watch.
And watch her pack at the end.
Yeah.
She seemed very unemotional and more of like, what a great guy, not for me. I can't wait to get back home. And
yeah, her packing scene was much different than mine. And that's just the big picture of this whole thing of like, well, it didn't happen for me. And I don't know if she's going to accept or reject, but I hope if she does accept that it's not just from being under pressure, because I think everybody deserves somebody who wants to be with them.
Let's talk about what's next for you. My daughters and I have decided that you should be the next Bachelorette. I texted Chris Harrison and I said, this is our girl. Would you accept?
I think I'm open to any form of finding love. I know for me, I was just so freaking close to getting it. And I thought it was there. So I know that that's something that I'm ready for and that I want. So I think it would be hard to turn down, possibly 30 dudes, wanting to hang out with you. There's no apps that do that, like there's not an app where I can just take off from life and focus on love. But
plus, it can work.
Truthfully. Exactly. And I know for me, my experience, that those feelings were the realest ever. And I mean, who knows? But either way, I'm just excited to see where this whole new experience of living in the moment takes me and not having to live in the past every Monday.
What's the response been since last night's episode?
So I've only been able to do a few scrolls and see because I've been so busy, but overall, I think the gist has just been super positive and support, which has been really cool just because I'm like, I haven't done anything that great, yeah, this is my life and I went through something hard, but it's been really cool, overwhelmingly great.
Let's talk about the look. I love this, and girlfriends know what we're talking about. When you're going to show up and see an ex, we come to play. Your look last night was stunning. From the earrings to the outfit, flawless. Did you feel good last night?
I felt pretty good. Well,
besides the crying and the tears.
My heart didn't feel good, but the outside felt, it was pretty good. But thank you. Yeah, I just tried to have a good, like, I'm back.
What about
Welcome
that
home.
moment? It goes to commercial.
Yeah.
And then it shows you and Colton sitting there like cameras are now off. Was that so awkward? What did y'all say to each other?
So he walked on stage. There was like a few different moments, but it was a lot for me. And I didn't know if in the moment I was just gonna flake and be like, all is good, yeah, but I'm so glad I could speak what I was feeling, because so many days, like weeks, have gone by of me struggling with, figuring out what what actually happened, and, trying to put all the puzzle pieces together. And so I got in that moment, and for some reason I got really calm, and I was like, let's go. Let's get these answers. Let's get this closure so I can close the freaking book and move on.
Did you get closure last night?
I think for the most part, yeah. I mean, I don't know what it takes to get complete closure. Like, I don't know if there's a rule book where you have to mark things off, but overall, and I didn't want to hear like, oh yeah, it wasn't you the whole time. That wasn't fun, but I was relieved to have this, like, okay, like there wasn't, those what if situations were kind of just like, taken away. So I was like, okay, I feel relieved and just excited to be in the moment now.
Would you go to Bachelor in Paradise and have some cocktails and mingle with your people from all the other seasons? There's some cuties out there.
I've heard of that place before. I heard it's a cool, magical place, but
a lot of tears, more drama than you can even imagine.
There's a few tears there, yeah. All the emotions are there, I heard, but again, I think any way that I could possibly meet somebody cool, I'd be open to it. I think right now everything's a little fresh, and I still had a few kind of open wounds from everything, but for the most part, I'm like, I want love.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth a shot, You never know who you're going to connect with and the people that cross your path in different times of your life, and that could be one of those. So.
Well, we are pulling for you. Again, my first impression rose went to Hannah G
Mine
as
goes
well.
to you if I had one.
Bring it here. Okay, good.
So
we'll
sweet.
tune in tonight. Thanks,
Okay,
darling.
perfect.